You've come so far, Ash. You were the technologically stupid one before, remember?
Yeah. Now I got it in your face. So.
Oh.
Oh.
I can't even compliment you. You get so defensive. It's like, you're so good at this. Remember when you're stupid? I'm like, God damn. Welcome to another episode of Comix, everybody. We are in episode 104. And as this week we have Andres, Ash, and myself here to navigate nerd news and entertainment. I don't have any. I mean, does anybody have a drink? I've got coffee. I got a new creamer. Oh, you got.
Yeah, you
all right. What do we got?
That's new. That's different.
I'm drinking a Modelo Chelada Piña Picante.
How is it?
Taste like?
It's actually pretty good for a canned, for a pre-mixed canned michelada. It's really, really tasty.
It's not too sweet.
It's a little sweet.
It's a little sweet. Okay.
Is it spicy at all, or is it?
It not very. I can handle my heat, but this is not spicy at all. You taste the spiciness, like you can taste the spice, but it's not hot.
Okay.
All right. Well, thank you for that, sir.
I've never heard of piña chelada. Is that a thing?
Yeah, you get micheladas of every kinds of flavor.
I was gonna say, like, it's kind of like a margarita, like whatever your heart desires. You just say, I want to fill in the fruit margarita.
What?
He called you a fruit.
Oh man, watermelon margaritas was me and Dana's jam. We had watermelon and mango margaritas were fucking us up. That's how we got into that blackout.
Were they slushy or were they just normal watery?
Rocks, yeah, regular water. They had another one called a banana mata something, and that was like that one was in like slushy form, and it just tasted like a fucking banana milkshake, and delicious with all the calories and all the alcohol.
I like that. We're pausing as we're talking so that I don't cut you off. They had those, like, you know how they have in old Vegas, they have like guitars or a backpack full of fucking slushy or whatever their little jam is, like hard rock is like a guitar,
or the Fat Tuesdays, the yards, right?
Yeah. We had a banana one, and I don't know what it was though. It was like it had banana and what's the fuck it was a mudslide, but like a slushy mudslide.
Ooh.
That sounds gross, but it was like really good. Yeah, it sounds like something you get after like Taco Bell, but it was really good, and it was like it was so sweet that you don't realize that you're drinking alcohol, and then all of a sudden
anything like heavy sweet like that is what gives you like the nastiest fucking hangover the next day. That's all sugar talks.
The next day after our blackout, like we were miserable. Like the only thing that helped us, I think, was that we laid out by the sun, like the vitamin D, like rejuvenate, and then we started drinking right away. Like I asked for a beer, but when you speak like at the resort that we were at in Mexico, whenever I spoke Spanish, like they hooked it up, like because they are used to speaking English all day, and when I would speak Spanish, they're like immediately they'll be like, "Oh, ¿qué quieres, mijito? ¿Qué quieres, caballero? ¿Qué quieres?" Like, and so they're like really catering to me, and so they made me a red eye, and because I asked for a beer, he's like, no. He's all, "Pa la cruda." He's like, "You hungover?" He's like, "No." He's all, "I got you. I know what you need. You need ojo rojo." And then like he takes off, comes back, gives it to me, and the beer. He's like, "Drink this. I'll check in on you in like 10 minutes." And so I'm drinking the fucking red eye, and I came back to life. I'm like, "Let's do it." Yeah, I rallied.
I know, because you filmed me. This is our last drink, and then all of a sudden, fucking
dude,
you're doing Silence of the Lambs over there.
True story about that. So when we went to Disney World, we decided to do there was like a at Epcot they have every country that you can go to. So me and Dana thought it'd be fun if we took video of each drink that we did. And so we cut it together, did a little video on my personal page. And I was like, we should do not that again, but we should do the first and the last drink the first day at the resort. And so we did the first drink and then we forgot. And we were both bummed out about forgetting. And then early last week, we're going through my phone of all the pictures that I took. I was just like kind of going through memory lane that it's already been 2 weeks since we got back from this beautiful resort, and we see videos. I'm like, what? We took videos? And it was like a fucking message from a time machine. Like, to see video is recording. I think it's me and Dana had no recollection of this whatsoever, nor did we remember how we got into our bed. Like, and so we were able to piece together, and like as we're watching the clips where it was like coming back to us, I'm like, that's right, this did happen.
The Hangover.
That's right. Yeah. Oh,
you lived the movie The Hangover.
100%. Like, and that was when I was messaging you, Ash, of like, Dana says you would love it here, because we were watching the luchadors. There was a Mexican luchador wrestling one of the days that we were watching, and I was like sending Ash clips, like, but he's just like egging me out. He's, oh, it's dope. I'm touched. Like, have a drink. I'm like, we're drinking. Yeah. Anyway, I digress. Yeah, good times. Okay, so let's dive right into the news of what we got going on for this week. I would say let's start with the biggest things that happened. One of the things that I know is getting a lot of traction, but it's really empty. The news is the DC potentially getting a reboot. A lot of speculation on what's happening with the future of DC, with James Gunn co-heading Warner Brothers. And he addressed a lot of it. He's just like, look, a lot of the things that you people are saying, some of it's true, some of it's half true, some of it may be true. We haven't really decided it yet. So I'm going to ask a really difficult thing. Please be patient with us. We're trying to figure out a lot of things. The unfortunate truth is we can't keep everybody happy. And he kind of left it at that. Now, it was already addressed that Henry Cavill was going to come back as Supes. Now, this was pre all this happening. So the strange part is like The Rock a couple weeks ago was like, yeah, I fought for this and I did this because hell yeah, I believe in you guys and I fought for it and that is what I stand for. And then there was an article that came out earlier this week of Black Adam was considered a bomb to the box office. And then this article is coming out now, and then Gal Gadot like potentially not coming back as Wonder Woman, which is speculation. All that we know for sure is that the third script written by Patty Jenkins was rejected. Not to say that they don't want Patty Jenkins back. They just didn't like the script for the third.
Or it just doesn't fit with where they want to go.
Correct. Now, there's a lot to unpack there. There's a lot of like, moving pieces with everything that's going on. I mean, I hate, it's difficult. Obviously, me as the consumer of this media, the actors is what I get drawn to, and I want the good story to be with the actors that we've now adopted. Like, I see Gal Gadot, I see Wonder Woman, I see Henry Cavill, I see Superman. Like, not to say that they can't do that again with another character, but I don't want to. Like, I'm starting to get a little bit of fatigue of having to get reintroduced to new people. Andres, what do you feel about all of these things up in the air, which I know it's a very loosey-goosey type of topic, but just on the surface, what are you thinking?
I think I feel what everyone's thinking. It's like they really don't know what to feel. You hit everything that's come out really well. But what you didn't mention is that the next Aquaman might be Jason Momoa's last, and they were talking about transitioning him to Lobo, so they'll get a new actor to play Aquaman and put the Momoa as Lobo going forward, which would be pretty cool, but also awkward since it's like, okay, well, he was already fucking Aquaman in your universe.
Yeah.
But I do think he would make the perfect Lobo, so I understand that conundrum that you put yourself in. I think
go ahead. Sorry.
I was gonna say, I think they had mentioned that in the like, I don't even know, the fucking upcoming Flash movie, that they've cut out fucking Henry Cavill in it. Like, he's out of it after they had mentioned that he was
Oh.
gonna be in it. Yeah, they recut it since I guess James Gunn took over the universe, which is like, I want Henry Cavill as Superman going forward, and I want Gal as Wonder Woman going forward.
Yeah.
Whatever they decide at that point going forward, I see. They also don't mention what they're going to do to Blue Beetle. Is it going to be a standalone and not be in the upcoming? Like, we don't, like, that's an unknown. We don't know what they're doing about Pattinson's Batman going forward, or
I know.
like, there's a bunch of shit that we don't know. That is, it's supposed to stand on its own. I guess that's fine, and you can do something new going forward. Okay, is it going to be all one universe, or it's going to be all standalone series again? Who the fuck knows what's going on?
Yeah. Ash, what are you thinking?
The same thing. The only thing you didn't say, like, is Joker 2 coming out with Lady Gaga? Like, that was talked about.
That's right.
It's gonna be if the Jason Momoa Lobo thing. It's hard because I feel like he's just gonna play Dude Bro that he played as Aquaman, but with makeup and the dreads
and a motor or space,
like the whole little, like, like it's gonna be maybe with a little rough around the edges Wolverine type of thing, but other than that, it's
That's
maybe
exactly
that
what it's gonna be. Yeah.
But I mean, he's also the same guy, like kind of like in the beginning, how he was like, I'm looking for Arthur, and like, who's asking, that kind of thing. I'm not him, and then slamming Bruce against maybe that, but like more 75% that and less, but still you're gonna hear and see Jason Momoa, you know what I mean, or Aquaman.
Yeah. And you mentioned the Robert Pattinson Batman, which I was a fan of, and I do want to see more of that, but what's going to happen there? Are they going to? I really hope they don't scrap that. Like, I would even be okay it living in its own world.
Yeah,
if it becomes its own universe, right? Like, and if it becomes its own universe and becomes successful, and there's a boom tube that then brings different universes together, and if it's like, it would be a real clashing of different worlds, would be fun, but a lot of it's up in the air. Shazam was a wonderful film. We got another one coming out. Like, what's the future of that? Like,
make it like Nolan. Just, you have an end. Hey, we're only gonna do 4. Bye. Or do 3, do 4, whatever. Like, even if it's like, oh, but it should end on Scarecrow. Like, whatever your idea is, have it end on that. We're done. We've told the story we need to tell. I mean, and it kind of sucks too, because if that's more successful than what James Gunn is trying to do, building from the ground up, the studio only sees the fucking, this is making $3 billion. This is making,
I don't necessarily disagree with you, but I think, like, if I was James Gunn and they're like, hey, you could handle our DC universe with whatever, another person going forward. If I was James Gunn, I'd be like, hell yeah, that sounds dope, and I get to be in charge. But I'm going to say that if you're going to have to give me time to lay some groundwork to, like, if we have a first film that comes out and that's a failure, or it doesn't do as you guys think, you have to give it some time to let it grow. Like, that's the only way I would take it. It's like, you can't be changing streams all along the way like you guys have been doing. Like, you got to stick to something and let it go.
Yeah. Like,
the internet though too is very Guardians was amazing, didn't expect that. Fucking can't think of it right now.
Suicide
Squad 1 happened, and all of a sudden it was like, James Gunn sucked. Like, you know how it just goes, the fucking meter goes all the way down, or all the way. There's no fucking like in the middle.
Well, it's the same with and this is the part that worries me is like when Joss Whedon did an edit off of the Justice League, and when the first Avengers movie came out, we were all blown away. It was the first time anything like this has ever happened, and we all praised Joss Whedon for doing the screenplay, directing it. Like we're like, oh my god, it's great. Now, does it age well? It's still fun, but it's not top tier as the way this other. It was just a fun movie. It was like like I don't know if you how recently you guys have watched it, but I watched it a couple months ago, and the plot is very loose of just like, all right, and now we're here. It's like, how we get here? Like, don't ask questions. Like, let's just enjoy this ride. And it's just these movies have gotten more and more sophisticated as time goes on. And so back to what you're saying, Ash, we all praised Joss Whedon, and then when he's doing an edit, so he makes a Frankenstein off of what Zack Snyder's vision was, and Joss Whedon's trying to like alter it with doing reshoots, and it was like, oh fuck Joss Whedon, he sucks, he ruined it. The Snyder cut. And it's like everybody was hating on Snyder first, and then there, and so that's the part that worries me with the Flash film. It's like,
not to mention all the sex scandals with Whedon. It would all just was at the same time.
Yeah, I mean, dude, everybody
or harassment, maybe not sex scandals, but harassment. Sorry,
there's a plague going on with Warner Brothers. Like, I was so excited for the Flash film, and then Ezra Miller kept doing stupid shit, and then that movie's turning into a Frankenstein too. They keep doing shoots, reshoots.
To fuck, cutting out stuff, like reshooting stuff.
Yeah. What's it gonna be like? Is it gonna be a cohesive story, or is it gonna be like?
I'm sure they're gonna be as good as they can to make sense, but also I think they're just like getting ready just to throw it out there and be like, whatever happens to the shit, fuck.
It's probably gonna end up being well, that's what they said with Batgirl, right? It was a theatrical release, then it's like exclusive for HBO Max, and then never mind. Like, I have a feeling Flash is gonna be a HBO Max thing. It's not gonna be a theatrical
release. But what happens if it's a sleeper?
And everyone
and fucking makes more than fucking Batman. You know what I mean? Like,
I mean,
does the studio go, Warner Brothers can't hire fucking Ezra, you know? Like,
well, Warner Brothers already said that they're still working with Ezra. And he's like, lately he's just been laying low, but they're like, yeah, we haven't, decided anything. We're still working with him. We're working with him during this difficult time, blah, blah, blah.
Kind of fucking, if you say fuck you and then fucking there's recuts, like you still need the guy to,
I mean, yeah, it's just such a bummer. Like, it's such a bummer that people are pieces of shit, like, God damn it, just be cool, guys. Don't choke slam people, and don't make threats, and don't. Those two things are the least of his worries, by the way. The other is sexual shit.
He also broke into someone's house.
Oh, I forgot about that. That's right.
So he may be facing a trial.
And there was also the allegations of him, what's the word? Grooming, right?
Grooming
young people.
Starting cult. Also the cult shit.
Yeah. Yeah, that's right.
God
damn. God damn, dude. Anyway. Moving on. Any last pieces?
But that is a story that could be. That's the one story that you can actually say, this Wonder Woman, this Superman, fuck everybody else. It may be in Flashpoint, fucking Earth 2 Batman lives, but you know what I mean? Like, that's the one thing you could kind of
see. That's
yeah. Go ahead, I'll let you go, and then I'll go after Luis.
I was just saying that's the shitty part, is that Keaton was being set up as the Batman in this series, and then they did all the reshoot, because then he was the Batman in that, and then same with Batgirl, and it's like, oh, that's the Batman in that universe, and then they just recut everything to put Affleck back in it. Like, so I'm like, so is Keaton out? Like,
I think he's out of the way. I think he's not coming in any other stuff anymore.
And that's why everybody was getting all hard about it. Like, it was just like, oh my god, how cool is that we're gonna see a seasoned Batman.
See, like, hitting back to the point, like, if any of this, whatever stuff here and ends, and whatever is going to be the start point of the next, of of James Gunn's universe.
Yeah.
If I was him, I'd be like, anything on the docket that you guys set to release, if any of that hits, it's based on me and my partner. If we decide that's going forward, you guys can't have like massive control of seeing what's going. That's the only way I would have taken it. I'm not gonna be like, oh, fucking Ezra Miller's a fucking hit now, so he's gonna be the Flash going forward. And then also, you don't want, like, you know how you were saying about like, oh, we could retcon it and this be Earth 2 and we have this and that. I'd be like, no, if we're starting over, we're gonna make this fucking simple. We're not gonna have these possible tie-ins yet. Cause that's where they fucked up the first time. Like you straight up introduced shit that you should have established your universe, but no, you had fucking people crossing over left and right in the beginning. It's like, no, learn from your fucking mistakes and wait.
I mean, if it is let's say it is a sleeper hit, I think the best way to deal with it is do reshoots now before he gets potentially arrested, and have him die honorably, and introduce Wally West. And so then we don't reboot. So if it's like, oh my God, I love the Flash film, and it's like, yeah, well, he gave his life at the end of it, or whatever the reshoot is, and then it passes the torch to the new one, which is now Wally West, and now we see Wally West as the Flash.
We could get an origin for Wally West going forward in the new universe.
In the Speed Force, running. Wally West maybe knows a little bit more about the Speed Force and just happens to be in it and realizes like he's just fucking doing that, how they get away with death, where it's just like pieces of him are just fading away or whatever.
Yeah.
And he just hands whatever baton, whatever the save the world, the plutonium, whatever the fuck it's going to be, hands it to him. And he just ends up in like, what's up, guys? And then even if we don't see who he's looking at, maybe you see the cowl, maybe you see the cape, you just the behind their head.
Yeah.
And that way you still have everything. You start off with your Flash and then just tell whatever. You know what I mean? Like you don't see, you can only make out the back of their heads and who they are. The tiara, the fucking cowl.
Especially with something like Flash, you can have that kind of fun, right? Like it's no wonder that they've held on to this movie, because I want to say that they announced this movie before, or at the same time they announced the Multiverse of Madness, didn't they? Because they were both like, oh, they're no, Spider-Man, when the Spider-Man of like the different of the not the Multiverse of Madness, but No Way Home.
Yeah,
they were releasing the concepts of it. That was along the same time that they were working on Flash. So it's like, oh, Marvel DC, like they were both having similar timeline things that were happening. So we were all excited, but then Flash, they held it. But that's their best reset button. You know,
that's what I'm trying to convey. Like instead of, okay, that happened, like just kind of
embrace
that's the
it.
best case scenario
Right.
of you know, like the Flash, Blue Beetle, whatever there's going to be, there's only so many times we're going to be like, okay, well, does this count, or this doesn't count, or this counts. That's just the best way of fucking kind of doing it. And you're ending on a pass the torch, and you're not exposing your future. Just kind of whatever, like you, and you know, with the Flash, like you can assume like, oh, again, I'm just going to say plutonium or whatever the fuck they need to get back to Earth 5. Like he just shows up in the fucking out of the Speed Force and just is like confused because he doesn't know who he's meeting, but you're technically meeting the fucking trilogy.
Right. And then you're just seeing, oh, like Superman looks,
and you could still this is how we got here. Every movie every one of their the trilogy ends on this spot.
Or starts.
Yeah, you know.
But I'm sure, you know,
But if they wanted to go the Marvel way, saying like you could tell your story to get here, you could tell your story to get here, instead of just like, and we're fucking Justice League. Instead, you know what I mean? Like kind of how they tried to do in the beginning, like Justice League.
Yeah. God damn it. I have hope. I have so much love for these characters. Like, I just really want them to just do it well, guys. You know, worst case scenario, we get more movies. I mean,
but it also sucks because there's people that get that there's Marvel and DC, but the majority of people just think they're comic book movies. So they don't realize, fucking, oh, well, I thought this guy was Batman. You know what I mean? Like people that go just to take their kid because they're into fucking the next Gary Oldman movie, or, not the Lake House or whatever the fuck they're into.
Yeah.
Like they, I don't know. I just hope it doesn't affect comic book movies as a whole.
Yeah. And when's that fatigue going to start kicking in? Because I mean,
we're barely getting X-Men on this side, and this hasn't even been in this world yet, in that world yet.
I mean, I remember a time where everybody on this podcast, maybe even some of the people listening, and if you agree with us, please let us know in comments. When a comic book movie was coming out, you would make a point to watch it opening night. Like whatever had to happen, you get a sitter, you request the next day off of work. Like it was an event. They're so frequent that there have been, like, even Wakanda Forever, I saw it. It was an opening weekend. Like Multiverse of Madness, I didn't see it until it was streaming. Like it's not that I don't give a shit anymore, but that fatigue, I hate to admit, is happening because there's so many things that are out there.
Quarantine and COVID kind of put
sure,
a
that
lot of
slowed it
shit
down.
into perspective.
But I mean, even prior to that, Andres, what was the last Marvel film that you saw opening weekend?
Opening weekend, wow.
Would that have been Endgame?
Yeah, I think.
Yeah.
No. Second Spider-Man was what?
Far From Home?
I think that was probably the last one.
Okay.
Mine wasn't opening, but it was the week after because they were already starting to do little comicbook.com was already starting to do little like, okay, we're not going to ruin it, but you have a day and a half to go see this fucking movie before we do what comicbook.com does, which is like little murals of, spoilers and little, they don't give it away, but if all of a sudden you see fucking Deadpool and fucking Wolverine, you're like, oh, that's what's going to happen.
Yeah.
And it's opening weekend, so clearly you're already giving it away without giving it away.
What film was it?
Oh, it was the one Andres just said. That and Batman
or Far From Home?
The Batman were not even, it wasn't that Thursday or Friday, whatever it was, but it was the week of, so that fucking the internet didn't ruin it.
Same. I saw it. I saw the Batman. That was the last one I did. I saw that on the Saturday.
But they even made it so convenient as to say there was a time where we're going to show this at midnight. We're going to show this at midnight. But then it started getting like, well, in New York, it's midnight, so you could watch it at 8.
Yeah.
I mean, at 9. And then it became 8:00. And then somehow they fucking...
Now it's the whole Thursday.
Yeah. Like in fucking, I don't know, fucking Pakistan, it's now 8:00. It's midnight. So you could, you know what I mean? It was like midnight somewhere.
But there lies my point, is like it used to be an event. Like we used to be so stoked of like, you knew it was the next Marvel film, even if you didn't know anything about that character. You're just like, it's the next Marvel film. It's going to mean something. And so it's like a part of the event, which is what made Avengers so big. And I feel we're losing some of that, I think. Like,
fucking Top Gun was the last time I heard people being like, I have my tickets already. Like, what? Top Gun was the last time I heard some people already have their tickets for that Friday.
That movie was better than it had any right to be, though.
Yeah. But that's what I'm saying. That's the last. I haven't heard any. I haven't. Oh, fuck, man. Like I told you last week, I have such a hard time investing in anything new. I saw Thor 4 last week. Could not stop crying. Every scene was fucking tearjerker. Like, I think I said this last week, even like it would be like, I'm strong as fuck, cough, fucking I'm strong as fuck, cough. Like, oh dude, every scene was like it was I don't know. I think that's a one-time view for me.
Is it on streaming on Disney Plus now?
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Oh shit. I have to go.
That's how I oh shit, did I ruin that?
No, you're fine.
But see, that's what I'm saying.
Fuck,
Like,
I'm sorry.
No,
I
no,
mean,
no,
You don't know who I'm talking about though.
no, I don't. You're good.
but yes, watch it. Let us know what you think. But anyway, that's my whole point. It's just it's starting to feel a little fatiguey, and it's like I wonder if they're just gonna like drop. I don't know. Who knows? Who
It's hard
knows?
though too because there's still again there is the overall story of where we're going, and they still need to tell like how you say it. I mean,
I know.
we're getting the movie, then we're getting fucking Disney Plus stuff, then we're getting the movie, then we're getting not the same necessary, but it's all supposed to be just.
Marvel still has to get like the new big dicks out there. They haven't. The new big dick hasn't been released yet.
True.
Like, there's no old Captain America or Iron Man. We need the new. Like, you got Spider-Man, and he's like going to be the leader.
Yep.
Now we'll see them release fucking the X-Men, and we'll see them carry that, and then the hype will start over. Like, a bunch of motherfucking mid 30-year-olds, the minute X-Men fucking get put into the gonna fucking be in line dying to see that shit. Like, without a doubt. I'm including that.
Not to mention fucking they still haven't, other than the OG Fantastic Four, they still haven't had a successful Fantastic Four.
But Fantastic Four doesn't have the same fan base that.
Yeah, that.
Nothing X-Men. Yeah, no. Yeah.
Well, see, but that would be like Captain America had a fan base even before the film. Mm-hmm. Iron Man didn't really, but with the first Iron Man movie, everyone was like, "Oh my god,